All good? All right, coming to you live from Padua Stadium. This is the Holy Name Athletics pregame show. I'm your host, Nathan Smee, returning commentator and Holy Name Student Director of Broadcasting. Alongside me is a newcomer to the varsity football scene. However, he did help with a JV game last year. Damian Webb, how are you today, sir?
I'm pretty good. Thank you for having me.
For those of you who watched the JV games last year, the Normandy JV game at Byers Field, he filled in for Cam Ragazzo, who will be showing up later today for the show once he finally gets here as he's in traffic. He filled in and did an excellent job, so we decided to keep him on as he'll be working with our computer throughout the season and helping with our pregame shows. So we're definitely glad to have him on. And also, just before we get started the pregame show, our camera situation is based off of a phone. The power situation here at Padua is, with all the people here, it's not optimal, but we found a way to be able to stream the game, so we apologize if any qualities. We'll knock on wood, it should be able to go through the whole time, but we really wanted to bring you this game. So we're going to work with this, and we're hoping we give you guys an excellent night of commentary. So where should we start here on our handy, script that we have right in front of us that I decided to write? Yeah, let's look at this rivalry from last year's perspective. Holy Name and Padua hadn't played each other in football for a while before last year, and then Padua decided they wanted to play us again. So week 1 on August 21st, 2021 at North Royalton High School, the rivalry renewed itself in football. That game was a 20-0 win for Holy Name with a dominant run game led by Christian Sanchez. There was also at the end of the game a nice goal line stand by the Holy Name defensive line that kept Padua out of the end zone for the whole game. However, in the return fixture later on in the playoffs in November, the game did not start off well for Holy Name. Padua running back, now senior I believe, running back Marquise Hall had a 65-yard rushing touchdown the first game play from scrimmage. I was in the stands for that game doing the Max Preps updates. It was pretty devastating in the stands when that happened, but our team, we never give up. We kept going throughout the whole game. We had a lead at halftime, and then towards the end of the game, it was 21-21 on the final drive. Third down, our quarterback, now senior, Javon Williams, threw a nice pass to since graduated Eric Jones Jr. at midfield, and he made the catch. From that point on, momentum shifted completely to Holy Name, which ended in our own version of the catch, with Andrew Cole's 5-yard touchdown in the left side corner at Brooklyn High School in the dying seconds of the game, ending the game. After both of those, both teams have something to prove in today's game. Holy Name wants to prove that, regardless of a bunch of graduating people, we can continue our dominance. Padua wants to prove that they can beat their crosstown rival and assert dominance over their Catholic school friends. So I think that's pretty much everything from those games. I mean,
yeah, I think that sums up the highlights of last year. It's a fresh new season. We got a lot of guys that left last year, a lot of graduating people. Eric Jones, Ricky Jordan, Stevie Cancer, Mike Kenny, Garrett Elias, Andrew Scheiben, Connor Pricell, and many other guys that left last year. And we wish them best of luck in college. But we want to really see these young Holy Name kids step up, and I think they're going to do that tonight.
Yeah, I definitely believe they will. And also just a shout out to both Kinney brothers, Mike and Joe Kinney, just wishing them the best of luck at North Royalton, as I believe they have a game kicking off tonight, or whenever it is. We wish them the best of luck. I got to know Joe through baseball and as well through commentary, so I definitely wish him the best of luck. But hopefully they'll do well, but hopefully we'll do a little bit better than North Royalton this season.
Right.
So with that, let's go into some questions before this game. And obviously, with all these people leaving, the question is, who can step up, specifically in the line? Senior Logan Burden is the only returning starter on both sides of the offense and defensive line. With all those departures, who needs to step up? Who will step up is the main question on both sides of the line to account for all the losses. Who do you think will step up, Damian?
I think a lot of these young guys, these people that are going into their junior year, they have something to prove on the field, guys. And this is their big-time varsity, under the lights, and we're stepping up this year. So I think a lot of guys are really going to step up. It's hard to say as we're early on in the season, but I think we'll see some great highlights tonight.
As someone who likes to make predictions that may or may not be correct, I'm going to take a swing at this. Jovan Santiago, he's a junior lineman for Holy Name. I've seen this kid in the weight room. He's an absolute animal. Looking at his huddle page,
Beast mode.
245 bench press, 500-pound squat. This kid is pure muscle and can dominate the line, and I think he's primed for a very good season. After coming into Holy Name last year, he learned the offense really well and was a very good player for that JV team last year.
Yeah, and I think he's a very big guy. He's got a big build, and he really knows how to move that and work himself on the field, and I think he'll apply it here tonight.
Yeah, Steph. Now the next thing, another place that we lost some people would be the wide receiver corps. Eric Jones Jr. had 329 receiving yards, and he left us last year. And then, and adding up the rest of the departures, that from what we've seen, at least half of our receptions last year, players who had those receptions are gone. They are no longer with us. So now the question is, who needs to step up? That's another big question. As receiving game, it's not what we do the most, but it showed in the playoff game. It was key, as Eric Jones' catch pretty much set us up for that big run and pass play at the end of the game. So who will step up on that in the wide receiver corps?
I think, like I said in the previous question, a lot of these younger guys are going to step up. Names like Joey Ragone ring a bell. People that are really on the field, they do really good. Colin Dosco really showed us some great moves last year. He came in to Holy Name. JV was a really great asset to that team, and he was a great asset to Varsity. So I think those are two people that really stand out in my mind that are going to be beneficial for this team this year.
Yes, I believe that they're primed for breakout seasons. You can never discount the quarterback/receiver Andrew Cole. He had one touchdown last year, and it was that catch against Padua. I think he's hoping to do a similar thing again tonight and assert his dominance over this team.
I sure hope so.
Yeah, but my main pick for this, like you said, Colin Dosco. He played really well for that JV team last year, and I was very impressed with him overall, especially a transfer, learning it well, and he impressed me completely. And another thing, people working in the weight room. The game is won and lost in that weight room. Colin Dosco is one of those guys you see in the weight room every day after school, putting in work, and when he's not satisfied. Whenever he's not satisfied, he'll always work to get the next weight. I've seen that, and that work ethic, put that on the football field, he's primed to be one of our top receivers this season, for sure.
Yeah, and for sure, he's really pushed a lot of the younger guys into that weight room, and, he's really encouraged them, do what you can. Learn the team. It's about chemistry, and it's about, applying what you learn in your summer practices.
Yes, the third question. This is a very broad question. Many people can be the answer for this. Who is the key to Holy Name success this year? One player, who is your key to the Holy Name success?
So for me, I would say that it's not just one player, it's going to be multiple. We have a really strong passing game. We also like to run. So that O-line and that defensive line really need to be strong this year. And I think we're going to see that tonight with many new guys stepping up to the plate.
Yeah, definitely. When I was going through this question, I went back and forth between many players. My short list consisted of players like Javon Williams, Christian Sanchez, the receivers prior mentioned, Logan Burden, and the linebacker tandem of Austin Wondolowski and Nick Kuchera, or even Keyshawn Gardner, that defensive back, as he's really thrived there last year. But the pick I had to go with our leading rusher, Christian Sanchez. It had to be him. Derrick Henry Jr., as I like to call him. The kid is 225 pounds, pure muscle. He'll bear you down like those Derrick Henry Old Spice commercials. If you jump on him, that's definitely not enough to take him down. But he ran for 1,380 yards last year and averaged 6.8 yards per carry. His size and athleticism makes him a real threat to take over any game, and he did that many times. Christian Sanchez is definitely a dominant player, and I would not expect him to slow down anytime soon, whether it be this season and even into college. I expect him to continue that dominance once he gets those offers going to college.
I believe, with this being his senior season, he's really going to try hard. He's going to be right there on the field with these guys, teaching them, and he's going to go hard, and we're not going to see any slowing down from that man.
I'm going to go with the questions out of order to try to get Cam here on time to answer question number 4, as it is probably the best question that I came up with. But number 5, how do you think a near-capacity crowd will affect the players, if at all, tonight?
I want to say that a lot of people here is going to get into the mentality and the heads of all these players, not only on the Holy Name side, but on the Padua side. The people that are here, we're cheering for our fans. We're cheering. It's going to be a great night because it's a great football game. And I think the fans will allow a great atmosphere for Holy Name to focus and really get settled in and start moving the ball really well.
Yes, definitely. I think that the crowd will have some effect. Of course, the crowd in every game will have an effect. You look at some stadiums around the world in any kind of sport for football in Seattle. That team might not be good this year, but at Lumen Field, that 12th man's present. Holy Name has that 12th man here. Most NFL stadiums, you'll have those loud things. You'll have everything that makes an NFL stadium a fortress to go to and difficult to play in. However, considering the fact that Padua's last game was in a near capacity crowd at Brooklyn High School, I think they'll play into their favor, as they had the home advantage last time, and they do again tonight. And I think that could be a big part for them. Holy Name, they might not have as many